She said it like she was reading the weather. Calm, casual, almost kind. "I've met someone," she said. "He makes me feel real." We were standing in the kitchen. The lights were off. The clock hummed. The house listened. I didn't turn around. My phone buzzed in my hand. A message from my assistant asking about lunch. I deleted it. "Who?" I asked. She hesitated, just long enough. "He doesn't care about money," she added quickly. "He's down to earth." That was when I laughed. It surprised both of us. The sound came out sharp and wrong, like glass snapping. I finally looked at her. Her eyes were bright, excited, free. She thought she was brave. She thought she was leaving a cage. She had no idea she was standing inside a system I built with quiet hands and patient years. I stepped past her and dialed my assistant. "Cancel her credit cards," I said. My voice didn't shake. "Freeze the accounts. Stop paying the extra bills." A pause. "And change the locks on my house." I ended the call before questions could form. Behind me, she whispered my name. I didn't answer. Inside, something old and cold stretched awake. 15 years is a long time to learn someone's breathing. I knew every pause in her voice, every lie that hid in the space between words. She said his name was Daniel. She said they met at a cafe. Said he listened. Said he didn't rush her. She said she deserved happiness. I nodded. I made coffee. I cleaned the counter. Inside, I replayed the last year like a slow movie. The late nights, the new passwords, the way she smiled at her phone and turned it face down. I remembered the weekend she said she was visiting her mother. I remembered the receipt for a hotel in a town she'd never mentioned. I remembered how she stopped asking about my bay. Not angry, not sad, empty. Betrayal doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers until you're trained not to hear it. She waited for me to shout, to beg, to break. I didn't. I asked one question. How long? She looked relieved. A few months. Months, I tasted the word. It was small, weak. It didn't match the weight in my chest. I went to bed that night and stared at the ceiling. I didn't sleep. I counted. I didn't confront her again. I watched. I learned. She thought I was quiet because I was hurt. The truth was simpler. I was thinking. I checked phone records. Not messages, just patterns, times, gaps. I noticed how often Daniel's number appeared when she said she was thinking. I hired a private service, not to spy, to confirm. Pictures came back first. Nothing loud, no kissing, just hands close, smiles too soft for friends. Then came the bank records, small gifts, paid with cash, careful. She was protecting him. That part stung more than the affair. I found out Daniel worked part-time, no savings, no plans. Down to earth, she called it. I called it gravity. I imagined her trying to build a life on someone else's ground. I wondered how long before she noticed it sinking. At dinner, she talked about moving out, about starting fresh. I nodded again. Inside, I built timelines. I called my lawyer, quietly. I called my assistant again, quieter. I learned what was mine and what I had only been lending. The last piece arrived on a Tuesday, a folder, thin, heavy. Inside were messages she thought were gone. She had deleted them, but deletion isn't erasing, it's just hiding. I read every word, promises, plans, jokes about me. Daniel called me the provider. She laughed. That was the moment something broke cleanly. No pain, no fire, just silence. That night I placed the folder on the table. She saw it and froze. "What's that?" she asked. "Your truth," I said. She didn't open it. She didn't need to. Her face told me everything. "I can explain," she whispered. "I know," I said, and I did. I didn't yell. I stood and picked up my coat. "The cards won't work," I said. The house is no longer yours. I've stopped paying for things that aren't mine." Her mouth opened. No sound came out. "What about my mom?" she asked. "I won't pay for what I didn't break," I said. She started crying then, loud, messy. Daniel wouldn't hear it. He was busy being simple. I walked to the door. "You can keep your love," I said, "just not my life." I stepped outside. The lock clicked behind me. The air felt lighter without her in it. I didn't feel happy. I felt clear. Betrayal teaches you what you've been carrying for others. I had been carrying her dreams, her safety, her excuses. I put them down. I didn't look back. Some people think revenge is loud. They're wrong. Real revenge is quiet. It's letting someone finally feel the weight of the choices they made. Alone.